Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech and welcome to the first ever episode of Tech Week with Ash. So, Tech Week with Ash is going to be like a weekly roundup of everything that's been happening in tech. Now, I might actually not do it weekly, maybe bi-weekly, but hey, I feel we've been doing a lot of scripted content and it's the fact that I've not been talking to you guys, I feel that's what's been missing, regardless of if it was or not. Well, I want to do this and I feel this is something I would kind of be excited about doing because there's a lot of things that have been happening with tech and I don't want to do an entire video just talking about one concept. Say for example, right now the Mi Air Charge, it's awesome, but it's a one sentence thing, at best a paragraph thing. Why do an entire dedicated video for it? So I kind of wanted to put everything together every week or every couple of weeks and also do something you guys have been asking me for a long time, bring back AshAnswers. So AshAnswers is not going to be a separate show, it's going to be a segment on Tech Week with Ash. So once I'm done with the news parts of this video, I'm going to go ahead and answer questions that you guys ask me, not just on Twitter, also on YouTube comments. So just add a hashtag AshAnswers, whether it's on Twitter or on YouTube comments. And in the past, I wouldn't do this from YouTube comments because YouTube's comment search wasn't that powerful when we initially used to do AshAnswers, and that's changed a lot in recent times. So I can pull that data up. So yay! Whatever questions you have throughout the week, leave it with the hashtag AshAnswers, and I will try to get back to you. Not as many questions as I usually would cover in a dedicated AshAnswers episode, but at least 5 to 7 questions. Any which ways, we will get back to all of this in a bit. Right now, let's move on to what's hot this week. First off, Xiaomi is going to be launching 2 flagship phones in India. Manu Kumar Jain has teased that. Now, one of those is expected to be the Xiaomi Mi 11, which, if you've not seen yet, cards. Hey, me talking to you guys is going to involve a lot of cards, so bringing back that. So check this out, Mi 11, we've done a detailed video on it. I'm hoping that Xiaomi does bring that leatherback variant. That is really nice. I've been using that as my primary for a bit. So Snapdragon 888 cameras, which again, I've done a camera comparison with the iPhone. And here's the thing, some people were asking me in that video that in a reflection, you can only see 2 sensors. The explanation to that is that that was actually a shot from the iPhone 12 mini. They have the same sensors, the primary sensor is the same, the processing is the same. So most of the pictures were shot with the 12 Pro, but I did run out of juice at one point because it was out. And I had the 12 mini with me, so I did take a couple of shots from that, and I didn't see that as a big enough issue to really talk about. Any which ways, coming back, the fact of the matter is the Xiaomi Mi 11 has excellent cameras and it's got that Snapdragon 888. It's a very nice flagship phone from Xiaomi. It's the first phone to feature that Snapdragon 888, and especially given Samsung continues to sell Exynos in India, this might be your best option at getting a Snapdragon 888. If Xiaomi can price it sensibly, maybe 50-55K, then it should be a great option. Now the other one that is more interesting for me, that's supposed to be a Xiaomi Mi 10, but with the Snapdragon 870. So the 870 is, I mean, look at it, you know how we have the 865 and the 865 Plus. The 870 is like a 865 Plus. But instead of naming it similar to what Intel did with the 14 nanometer, I think, anyways, instead of naming it like that, Qualcomm's decided to recreate it the Snapdragon 870. So this phone is supposed to have the 870. Now, a lot of people have always asked, why do brands use mid-range chips? Why can't they use last year's flagship instead? And this is Xiaomi's answer to people who've been asking that question, and hopefully, fingers crossed, if they do end up coming out with a phone that's got the Snapdragon 870 and rest of the internals exactly as we've seen with the Xiaomi Mi 10, they technically should be able to price it cheaper, and yeah, that should be awesome. Okay, moving on, while on the topic of flagships, let's talk about a couple of other flagships as well. One, the Axon 30 Pro 5G. The last couple of generations, ZTE has been using mid-range chips. Now, the invisible camera that, again, cut to that video. If you've not seen it yet, check it out. Now, that phone was awesome. Great technology, great demonstration of set technology. First gen-ish, yes. But it had the Snapdragon 765G, which is not a bad chip, but it's not a flagship. So with the Axon 30 Pro 5G, ZTE seems to be returning to those flagship roots. They are supposedly, they've got the Snapdragon 888 in this. Now ZTE phones haven't come to India in a long time, so hey, might not be very important news, but I am kind of excited. Not for the 888, not for the ZTE Axon 30 Pro 5G exactly, but if this phone managed to have a second gen invisible camera setup, then with the 888, that could be something, right? Technology is moving forward and that should be cool. Now, the next flagship phone that we're going to be talking about here is the ROG Phone 5. Now, the ROG Phone 5, a lot of stuff about it has been leaked. It's supposed to have this kind of second display okay, you might think it's a gimmick, you might think it could be useful. Well, for me, I'm going to wait and watch. As of now, I'm leaning towards gimmicky, but hey, it is something new, and it's still going to have that 6000 milliampere battery, triple camera setup to the back with a 64 megapixel primary, and that 6000 milliampere battery is actually going to be broken down into two. So two 3000 mAh batteries, probably to get extremely fast charging speeds, which is rumored to be 65 watts. So Asus, again, no punch holes, no notches, no flipping cameras or anything. There, from the leaked video, we could see that we still have a little bit of bezel to the top and bottom. They have shrunk, but it's still there nonetheless. So the dual speakers should be alive and well. So I can't wait to check out Asus's ROG Phone 5. And now, why ROG Phone 5, not ROG Phone 4? The last one we had was the 3. That's because 4 in China, in Taiwan, it's supposed to be unlucky. Xiaomi did not really care about that. They did come out with the Mi 4, and we've seen Meizu come up with a MX4. But apart from that, OnePlus did skip out on that. Oppo has skipped out on that all the time. So brands generally do skip out on the number 4, and we are guessing Asus is doing the same thing. Now, the next thing, while we're talking about technology, Mi Air Charge Motorola One Hyper. This is real wireless charging, not a pad that you keep your phone on, but actual wireless charging wherein you can sit with your phone in your pocket and it should still get charged. Technically, actually, as of now, it needs to have line of sight, but hey, that is what we are moving towards. Now, I'm not as excited for it with phones because hey, phones, we've got like 100-watt charging coming up, so it's like 5-10 minutes you get to top it up. That's not it. What I am really interested in now, if you look at the JBL 5.1 or the JBL 9.1 bar, so this basically has a center speaker and it's got 2 satellite speakers that you can actually pull out. They charge from the center speaker. Now you pull it out, put it behind you, and you get surround sound, and then that works for about 10 hours, and then you can just take it and plug it back in so that it tops up. Now these kind of things, these kind of wireless things, especially for 5.1 surround and all of that, you can get real wireless technology if you can just have something plugged in somewhere to charge it, and that just sits somewhere. I mean, one of the biggest problems with regards to wireless technology today is charging, right? Even a brand like Bose, who has super expensive stuff, they still need to have their wireless satellite speakers connected for charge. So they're not truly wireless, are they? But with something like this, all of that can change. We can be looking at a future where there are very few wires. That's something. But as of now, the health implications of it, because it's actually power that's moving on to something else. Xiaomi has made it very clear that their Mi Air Charge is only a tech demo. They're not looking to come out with any product featuring that this year at least. So all the health implications, everything needs to be tested out. But it is again technology moving a certain way, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it. Enough. Let's get to something controversial. the Xperia Pro. Now, MKBHD, Mr. Mobile, no disrespect, I really love both creators. I have the utmost respect for them. Now, they've had their own takes on it, guys, and I have my own take on the Xperia Pro. Now, guys, everybody's got an opinion, okay? Of course, we're gonna have different opinions, and that's the point of having so many different tech creators. If everybody is gonna parrot the same thing over and over again, then you might as well go around saying all of Flipkart's deals are great, right? It doesn't work that way. Everybody gets to have different takes on stuff. So for those who aren't in the loop, the Xperia Pro is basically the Xperia 1 Mark II, but with a micro HDMI port. That's it. But from $1,100-$1,200, they've increased the price to $2,500. Now, what MKBHD, I only saw MKBHD's video, so what MKBHD has to say about it is that, now if you're looking at 4K displays, 4K OLED panels for anybody who's shooting like real life games and stuff, like professionals, they are very expensive, and OLED 4K with cloud access and everything, it is just super expensive. So at $2,500, this might be a good deal. But here is how I look at it. Now, for any professional worth their salt isn't touching an external display that does not have access to things like focus peaking, histogram, and so on. And this is a 4K panel, yes, but it's a 21:9 4K panel. Anything that we are shooting, anything that we are streaming is 16:9, which means that entire 5:9, whatever, that sides are going to be blacked out whenever you're using it as a viewfinder. Now, if you move on to an expensive camera, like for example the Sony FX9 or even something like the Sony A7S Mark III, these cameras have a reasonably sized display to begin with. So when you're going for a display like with the Sony Xperia Pro, where you're losing so much of the panel and it's getting letterboxed into a 16:9, all those black bars, you're not really seeing a huge increase in the size of the display itself. So $2,500 kind of seems redundant. Generally, from a professional perspective, something like the Odyssey or even the Atmos Ninja stuff, which are excellent panels, color correct panels. Yes, they are not 4K, but at that size, 4K doesn't really matter, right? At that size, even a full HD panel, but as long as it's bright enough for outdoor use, it's got touch response with all those histogram and everything. And on top of that, these external monitors, they're also recorders. So let's say you're using a FX9 or a A7 or whatever, and you're recording something. Now these external monitors or external recorders can also get you backup footage that you can record with it. So that's extra functionality. The histograms, the focus peaking, all of these are also extra functionality that you can get with a regular old monitor, a field monitor that is, which is why I don't feel that the Sony Xperia Pro is something anybody would be looking at, not even those 30 people, because the professionals aren't going to touch it. The regular consumer does not need that level of visual fidelity, right? Now, all of Sony's products, whether it is something like the FX9, whether it's something like the A7S III, A7R3, any of Sony's products, they allow for native streaming. So you can actually use a regular old Redmi phone as a viewfinder. Yes, it is not going to be 4K. The stream is only going to be 1080p or HD, but you can still monitor stuff if that's what you want to do. So is it worth an extra $1,300? That's about 1 lakh rupees for a micro HDMI port. I felt it was stupid. I said so, and this is my explanation for it. Hey, I get to talk to you guys on this show, and that is basically why I want to really do it. And we've kind of gotten around to doing that today. So anyways, moving on from this, again, guys, just want to make it very clear, I have the utmost respect for Mr. Mobile and MKBHD. I'm a huge fan. It is just that I have a differing point of view on this, and I don't think it's wrong to have a differing point of view. You get to make up your mind with regards to whatever, however you want to see it, but opinions, they are like, everybody's got one. If your camera does not natively support mirroring to a phone, or if you feel the latency is too high when you use your, for example, Sony solution, then you've got something like the HoloView Mars X, which basically lets you mirror stuff onto your phone. So any regular phone, you just take an HDMI from your camera, plug it into the HoloView Mars X, and then you can see everything on your phone. And this gives you a little bit more control as well with histograms and all that. As far as I know, I basically use the HoloView wireless transmitter to a proper field monitor, but I do know that you can also use it with a phone. I've not tested it out, but as far as I can remember, it's got the extra pro features as well. Anyways, moving on. If you are not a fan of WhatsApp and their privacy procedures and all that, Zuckerberg wants to you over and all that security stuff, the privacy stuff. If you're not a fan of it and you're switching to something like Telegram, then Telegram now lets you import WhatsApp chats, so which is huge. So you don't have to just say bye-bye to all your existing chats. You can still get it imported into Telegram and continue using Telegram, which as of now seems to be a better alternative. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And finally, the last thing on our agenda for today is the POCO M3. It, again, got a card to that, already covered, been there, done that. The POCO M3, it recently launched in Indonesia, I think. If I'm wrong, they'll probably annotate it. It actually has 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. That is the regular POCO M3. 64 gigs is UFS 2.1, 128 gigs is UFS 2.2. But now in Indonesia, they launched a 6 gig RAM version, and that is supposedly making its way over to India. So is that something that you're interested in? Is that something that excites you? It doesn't excite me, but hey, it is information. Just thought I'll pass it on. So guys, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk to you about. In the next episode, at this point, we'll jump into Ash Answers. I'll pick out your questions, whatever you ask me, and I will answer those questions in detail. And I also have another video coming up in which I'm going to be talking about what the f am I doing in Dubai? Why am I here? I've been hiding out here for the last 3 months. So why is it that I'm here? What does the future hold for C4E Tech? What kind of changes are you going to be seeing at C4E Tech? There are major changes in the way I'm heading, the way I'm taking the channel. So I think it's about time I did a channel update. So that video is up next. So I would request you guys to watch it. And also, what do you think about Tech Week with Ash? Leave a comment down below. And for my Tamil viewers, this video is not gonna be in Tamil. When it's an unscripted video, I find it very, very ridiculous for me to do the same thing again in Tamil because it becomes very monotonous. Unscripted needs to be in this part of the moment, right? And then repeating the same thing just doesn't work. But I'm gonna have it on a 3-day delay. So technically, if I'm doing this every week, Sundays you're gonna see it in English, Wednesday you're gonna see it in Tamil. Not the same video, the extra whatever news is broken in those next 3 days, that's gonna be included in the Tamil video, and similarly 4 days later, whatever's broken, that's going to be included in the English video. So it's going to be different content on both channels, kind of exclusive to both. I think that's a nice little compromise. It would keep me fresh, keep me interested in doing it as well. So anyways, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I kind of had a good time doing it. If you did like watching it, you know what to do. Also, leave a comment down below saying if there's any ways you'd want me to tweak this. Is there something that you'd like to see different? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, it is time for me to bid you adieu. Thumbs up, thumbs down, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe, bell icon. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.